Segment. Okay, welcome back to Speech Talk Live, episode 27. And this is our 3-minute segment that we use in our show. And the purpose of this is to essentially practice giving a short speech. So I always go first, so I'll start with my speech. This time I picked a kind of a pretty heavy topic, actually. And the topic that I picked is kind of ties in with pivoting that startups do and pivoting that Gandhi did when he was working on his startup in South Africa. And pivot is like when you're starting a business, at some point it's not working, you have to decide whether to stay the course or change the course. And often you have to pivot and change it based on the conditions, based on the customer feedback or acceptance. And companies often don't do that, and they struggle, and with startups they end up in a zombie state, and then they're pretty much dead at that point. So I was trying to explain that, and this is one of the blogs that I had written a while back. It's one of my most popular blog. Every time I publish it, I get so many retweets and likes. And I drew this analogy to what Gandhi was doing in South Africa. A lot of people don't know that. They all think that Gandhi just started this freedom movement in India and he just succeeded and British just left. It was nothing like that. He basically, he was born in India, he went to Britain to study, and then he went to South Africa. And he stayed in South Africa for many years, actually. And one of the key years that is very important for people to know is 1913. 1913 is when the independence of India was baked. Of course, the independence didn't take place till 1947, but 1913 was a critical year, and I'll explain. So Gandhi was doing all this experiment with passive, resistance, and in a sense, he was essentially a failure. The whole movement wasn't going anywhere. It was like a startup movement. I don't believe he's ever had more than 16 people, because let's face it, when you engage in peaceful protest, people were getting arrested, they were losing business, and most of the people that were part of his resistance movement were his family members. But then something happened that kind of fell into his lap in 1913. There were these indentured laborers who were brought from India to work in South Africa in mines, and they were not happy with their working condition. So they, left their job. They walked out as a protest, and they really didn't have a leader who was actually organizing them. They just were fed up with the working condition, because the person who was assigned to really address their conditions didn't care. He was morally focusing on the owners, the mine owners, etc., realtors, people who own land and all that. He didn't really care about their working condition. So Gandhi essentially represented them, and he had never focused on these indentured laborers, because if you know anything about India, we have this caste system, and these are people who are from low caste, and Gandhi never focused on them. He thought that people who would really understand this peaceful, nonviolent movement, resistance, would be educated people. And when this happened, he was able to organize them and get them the conditions, some of the conditions they were looking for. And what this did was that finally, this was the pivot that Gandhi didn't know before, that the success of his movement lay with these indentured laborers, poor people, not this so-called educated people that he was focusing on. And what made Gandhi the person who could lead India to freedom was that he developed this insight that nobody in India had that. So when he went to India, he knew how to mobilize all these poor people and make him part of this massive nonviolent movement. And only Gandhi could have done it. Other people were smart. I mean, they had lawyers and all these other people, but they had no clue how to gain independence in India. They just thought that, oh, we'll just go and attack them. We'll just start a revolution. And Gandhi said, that's not going to work. And it was Gandhi, that insight that he got from that indentured labor strike, gave him that insight that changed the history. So I just wanted to kind of discuss that here as part of my 3-minute speech, because a lot of people don't understand it. They just think that Gandhi just was doing something in South Africa, then he just went to India, and that's how India got freedom. But the key year to remember is 1913. If he had left South Africa in 1912, we would have never known who Gandhi was. That 1 year made the difference, and that 1 year essentially fell into his lap. It wasn't something that he was driving. So anyway, that's my 3-minute speech. Julie, do you want to go next?
So, hi, again, I'm still Julie. That hasn't changed. And I want to continue this theme of that success is not an accident. Success is something that you work with. So Churchill, when he was became the leader of the Western movement to Nazi, he said, I spent 20 years preparing for this position. And to me, there's two aspects to me that are like a core instrumental components to success. One is having a vision. And this was born out in Harvard University. A class of students, one group was asked to do a vision statement, and another group was left to be controlled. And 90% of the students who made a vision statement succeeded in achieving their goal. And the other side was maybe 30%, much lower, significant difference. So the other thing I believe to manifest your vision and to successful is to work with other people. And to me, that's communication. So being able to speak and influence people, this was in the week 1 lecture in Professor McGarity, is the power of communication, the power of public speaking is necessary to reach your goals. I have found not just taking this class, but participating in this engagement, such as with Jay and the other programs, to be very instrumental in success, in achieving success. Because success, as I said earlier, is not an accident. It requires you to practice. To participate in a group actually warms up, like quantumly accelerate your ability to achieve the goal for several reasons. One is that when you work together, you have a greater sense of commitment to it, in the sense that, I have a study buddy in this class, and I know I want to get my homework done because I don't want to let him down. So it increases my sense of commitment. The second thing is I get more resources and support, both in terms of emotional support and intellectual support and engagement, participatory support, because speaking is not something you can read about and become good at. So Professor McGarity again used the idea of athletes. You don't learn to ski, you don't become a good skier by reading about skiing. You gotta go out and do the skiing. And so finally, communication, it turns out, we said this already, is you can't do anything without communication. And so it is the fabric which knits all our lives together. Every relationship we have, whether it's work, personal, or even private, interpersonal, like people in your family, intimate relationships, interpersonal, or even your own internal relationship with yourself, require a certain level of communication, but either writing, verbalizing. So the canons of rhetoric, invention, analysis, organizing, delivering, and also, even though it's not in the canons, it's being able to flow a speech, to take good notes. It's a wonderful way of having all these component skills for success. Furthermore, when you practice speaking well, you are manifesting success, so that is already a pathway for your success. So practicing in this speech, such as Speech Talk Live, come to my reading program, or even the Wednesday evening where you actually work on your visions, it's a wonderful way for you to succeed in your life. So with that, I turn back over to Jay. That keep on practicing, and your success will not maybe accidentally. It appears accidental, but it's real. Thank you.
Yeah, Julie, that was good. I like what you said about. I like this thing, which I think at some point you may want to expand on that, having a study buddy, because a lot of people don't have that. And what would you suggest that they do when they want to improve? Because I think a lot of people don't finish the course because they don't have a study buddy. So that's something you may want to expand on it, on how to find a study buddy and what should you look for in a study buddy. So you can expand on that maybe as a separate video and then post it, because a lot of people, I agree with you, study buddy makes a big difference. All right.
Well, you're my study buddy. I'm here every week.
Yeah, no, but the one you're going through the course with. But anyway, yes. I'm giving you a homework.
Yes, I get that. Thank you.
I'm giving you some homework to do, because if you come on this show, you need to get some homework. Otherwise, I'm too easy of a host here. So, Julie, that's your homework. Fabiana, it's your turn now, so I'm going to mute it, and then it's you got 3 minutes. And you can go longer if you want. Go ahead, okay?
You to come to Brazil on your next vacation. But why Brazil? I'm not talking about evident, obvious points like carnival or nature or soccer, but I want to talk about a different mindset here, because here Brazilians don't associate time with money, so we can talk to strangers on the street all the time. We don't care about that. So if you are here like having fun during your vacation, you can grab some attention from Brazilians, and we can into time management, because I have many goals just to achieve. So I take care of my time very carefully. But even if a stranger comes to me on the street and wanna talk something, I can stop everything I'm doing just to give some assistance. A deep, serious talk, and we Brazilians are like that. So if you are on the street on vacation, you Americans, and oh my gosh, I don't know how can I interact with people in Brazil, how can I know their culture, their mindset. Don't worry, Brazil is the place for you to come, definitely, and then you can have a great time here. Thank you.
All right, I think I'm getting on a plane to go to Brazil. Julie, are you excited to go to Brazil?
I want to talk to Fabiana.
Where in Brazil do you live?
São Paulo.
Oh, Sao Paulo. Okay, that's the big city, right?
Our biggest city. Yeah, that's the biggest one.
That's the biggest, and that's where all the businesses are, right? Most of the businesses are in Sao Paulo?
Yes. Business, money, everything we have here.
I was supposed to be in Sao Paulo maybe, close to 10 years ago, and it didn't work out, so. I was supposed to make a business trip.
What happened?
It was supposed to be a business trip. We were trying to establish, I was working for this company called SunGuard Higher Education. We were trying to set up bring their software. It was an education software for universities, and the executives just kept on delaying it. They were playing it so safe, like, what if this doesn't work out, that doesn't work out, and all we're trying to tell them is sort of like what I just gave my speech on. I said, just go in there, try it. What's the worst that can happen? If it doesn't work out, then we're out. And everybody wants to be in Brazil because there are two countries you have to be in, right, in South America, Brazil and Mexico. And Brazil is the must, that if you want to succeed, you got to be in Brazil. but these people, just executives, just took their time and time, and eventually I ended up leaving. So I don't know what happened. So I didn't get to go to South. In fact, I had even purchased the Rosetta Stone on how to speak Portuguese, and I didn't get past, a couple of words now. So, in fact, it's interesting that I come from India, right? I was born in India. The word Bombay
Oh,
actually
really?
comes from Brazil. Bombay, it was Bombay, something like that, and then it turned into Bombay, and now they changed it to Mumbai.
Monday.
Mumbai. Okay, so everybody, we're gonna go to the next segment. So that was very good, Fabiana. So see, you did it. One thing I'll comment is somehow your audio was breaking up. So I just wanted to let you know that when you watch it, it breaks up. But I didn't want to stop it because I'm not sure there's much we can do from here. So you may want to
Okay.
check and see, well, if the connection it could be the connection issue. But just wanted to let you know that the
Okay.
audio was breaking up a little bit. So some of the things you were saying, I didn't completely make out, but it sounded good. So I just wanted to let you know. And one thing I got was that we should be coming to visit Brazil soon. You should be part of their, what do you call those? People who kind of get people, like not in the tourism, what do they call that? The tourism advisor or something like that, right? Okay, if you can mute your line, we'll go to the next first segment, okay? Okay, great. I'm going to take a brief pause and then we can move to first segment.